On the news, alleged mastermind of Abuja Kaduna train attack arrested. Labour threatens strike, gives federal government May 31st as deadline for new minimum wage. And Lagos State Governor addresses full scarcity concerns, says no need for panic buying. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. Authorities have apprehended the alleged mastermind behind the deadly attack on passengers aboard the Abuja-Kaduna train, which occurred in March 2022. The suspect, identified as Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known as Mandi, was taken into custody by the police. Police Public Relations Officer Olumiwa Adejobi confirmed the arrest on Thursday, shedding light on Abdullahi's alleged involvement in the abduction of students from Greenfield University in 2021. Now, during Abdullahi's arrest, law enforcement agents seized 48 AK-47 rifles, and efforts are currently underway to uncover the identity of his sponsors and suppliers of weapons. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed gratitude to organized labor for their support and patience during the implementation of government policies. Addressing the 2024 May Day celebration in Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Tinubu, said Nigerian workers play a pivotal role in the nation's progress. President Tinubu praised workers' contribution to economic stability and prosperity, acknowledging their sacrifices and dedication. In his address, Vice President Shettima reiterated the government's commitment to workers' welfare. He assured them that their concerns will be addressed, hinting at the possibility of considering a national living wage instead of a minimum wage as suggested by the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage. Meanwhile, the organized labor has handed the federal government May 31st as deadline to come up with a realistic and reasonable new minimum wage for Nigerian workers. Labor made this known during the Workers' Day celebration at Eagle Square in Abuja on Wednesday. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC, Joe Ajero, and his counterpart in Trade Union Congress TUC, Festus Osifo, were unanimous that 30,000 naira current minimum wage has been grossly insufficient for Nigerian workers in the light of the current economic realities and inflationary pressures, including food inflation, hike in energy and transportation costs, amongst others. They insisted that a new living wage of 615,000 naira be approved by President Bola Tinubu's administration before the end of May. Now, earlier on, I spoke with the Director General of Nigeria Employers Consultative Forum, NECA, Adewale Oyenride, and I began by asking him his take on the organized labor's disagreement with the federal government salary increase on consolidated salary structures, and rather insisting on an increase of minimum wage.
Well, Labour has its perspective. They have their views, which we cannot question with, especially when it doesn't really affect them. It doesn't affect us directly. So the issue of the salary increase, we also believe the federal government have the prerogative to increase when they want to, or to award, as they did last year when they did the wage award. So within the prerogative of the federal government to do that. But that does not and is not or cannot be equated to the national minimum wage. Those are different conversations. The conversation as per the national minimum wage is still ongoing. The negotiation, the last time we met was in April, and we are hoping that the federal government will call the tripartite back so that negotiation can continue on the issue of the national minimum wage. But it is neither here nor there. The federal government has the prerogative to increase. Labour has the option of responding, which they have done. But to us, as employers, we focus on the conversation of the national minimum wage and urge that a quick resolution, a quick conclusion will be arrived at so that we can all the country can move forward.
Now, lastly, before I let you go, we understand the talks between the federal government and the Labour are deadlocked as the NLC defends 615,000 naira as the demand for the new minimum wage. Now, is this demand realistic, especially with the current economic crisis we're facing in the country?
Well, I think deadlock is not the word to use because in reality, Labour has submitted its proposal. Employers, the private sector has also submitted its proposal. And the agreement is that we'll take the proposals will be looked at the committee level, the tripartite committee level. So there's no deadlock as of now. Labour submitted its proposal, which as you said, is 650,000 or 615,000. The governors forum also must have submitted their proposal. Organized private sector have submitted their proposals. And everybody have submitted their proposal. So the next phase will be the negotiation that will go on. Negotiation that will go on as per the issue of what exactly happens and what doesn't happen with those figures. But there is no deadlock as yet because negotiation has not taken place.
And in response to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent announcement of salary increment, the Nigeria Customs Service is advocating for a comprehensive review of its officers' salary structure, both serving and retired, to better align with the nation's economic landscape. At the Customs Wife Association outreach event held in Abuja, Comptroller General Adewale Adeniyi said the latest update occurred in 2019, adding that there is need for a salary review for the Commission. He appealed directly to President Tinubu for swift action to uplift officers' morale and accurately mirror prevailing economic conditions. Adeniyi also made a commitment to supporting the families of deceased service members, ensuring the welfare needs are met.
What you are getting today is a token. We commend COA for doing it. But then the bigger conversations remains what happens after this. For those that are still working in service, we believe that we should also earn salaries that are commensurate with the kind of impact that we create in the economy. The last times our salaries were reviewed was in 2019. That's some 5 years ago. And we know what has changed in the economy in the last 5 years. So this is also an area that would attract our attention. And I want to believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, being a responsive administration, would also echo to our voice by the time we go with recommendations and requests for a review of our packages. And for officers who have served out their tour of duty and who are now retired, we have deliberately started a number of programs to ensure that we give them comfort during retirement.
Today, as we remember our fallen and deceased customs officers, we also stand in solidarity with their families. As we gathered here today, let us hold dear the memories of our fallen and deceased customs officers, celebrating their lives, their service, and their dedication to a cause greater than themselves.
The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reassured residents that there is an adequate supply of fuel available in various tank farms. This is in response to the prolonged queues at filling stations due to fuel scarcity. During his address commemorating May 1st, also known as Workers' Day, the governor said that he has personally verified this situation with officials from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and other stakeholders in the downstream sector. According to the governor, the primary challenge causing the queues is a logistical aspect of fuel distribution from the tank farms to the filling stations.
Yes, we're beginning to see some queues in our petrol station. And I've made an inquiry. I want to assure you that we have enough fuel in our various tank farms. I have confirmed from the leadership of NNPC and all of them that are in the downstream sector. There is no fear at all. It's only the logistics of getting the fuel from their various tank farm and depot to the fuel stations that has created this little bottleneck. And they've assured me that within the next couple of days, all those queues will completely disappear. So I want to tell you, please, don't do panic buying. Don't go and buy fuel that you don't require right now. Let us just wait, and for the next couple of days, it will clear out. It's also important for us at this difficult time, because of the weather that we have, that let's work in a safe and secure environment. It's a very harsh weather, so don't let us buy fuel or combustive material and put it in our house or in an environment that it can cause a burst or cause fire. Because we have seen in different parts of the country what compressed gas can do.
The Nigerian capital, Abuja, is currently grappling with a severe fuel scarcity, causing widespread inconvenience and economic strain. The shortage has resulted in long queues at filling stations and driving up the price of fuel and impacting various facets of daily lives of residents. Our reporter, Folashade Olusegun, has more from Abuja.
Long queues like this have become a constant feature on the streets of Abuja for weeks now, as the fuel scarcity in the city bites harder. Despite assurances from authorities, including the NNPCL, that the problem is being addressed, the situation is not getting any better. The scarcity has adversely affected commuters and motorists who face long waits at filling stations and endure inflated fuel prices, often ranging from 750 naira to 850 naira per litre.
You leave your family, you queue for hours. Sometimes you sleep at filling station. Whereas we are in a country where we produce such products. You understand? So that's why I say it's pathetic. Other countries who don't have such products, I don't think they queue like this. You understand? Compared to before, when we buy it, before I normally use like 3,000 a day, throughout the day. And the remnant will still take me home. You understand? But now I'll end up buying 12,000, 13,000 a day. And then out of that 13, I'll hardly send 4,000, 5,000 to my family in a day.
Price of 617 naira, 700 naira have mastered us. But these few weeks now, it became another experience altogether. So not easy for us because I can say this fuel is energy. Without fuel, can't do anything.
It's been a tough period for business owners, particularly those reliant on transportation for operations. They now have to pay more for logistics.
The cost of my transportation to my working place is very high, and my salary is not compared to my transportation. If it keeps on like this, I don't think I'm able to afford going to work again.
Amidst the persistent fuel scarcity, there is a mounting clamor for prompt intervention from the federal government to assuage the hardships faced by Nigerians and stabilize the fuel supply.
The government should actually do their best for the masses because it has not been easy for the masses. The masses have been suffering. Please, the state government, the federal government, all should work as one and help the citizens.
To make the fuel very easy for us, it is on their fingertip. You cannot take them anything. What we are suffering is one man's signature, one man authority. And we are begging God to touch that same man, to change his heart, to have the feeling of the poor masses in Nigeria.
The NNPC Limited has now given renewed assurances that the issue would be resolved in the coming days and that the queues will disappear.
And elders and leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP in Lagos State, have made a resounding call for genuine reconciliation within the party, saying it is important for the upcoming 2027 general election. During a reconciliation meeting held in Ikeja, key figures within the PDP stressed the urgency of ending internal conflicts and fostering unity to strengthen the party's position. Expressing concerns over internal strife within various state chapters, Bode George, one of the party's chieftain, advocated for proactive measures, proposing the establishment of a zonal committee to facilitate reconciliation efforts across states and regions over the next 6 months.
We know there are crises in many states chapters of our party, and we cannot continue to hide behind a finger. We are beginning the drive to reunite the party today with this meeting in Lagos. I will recommend that a zonal committee should also go around the states and zones in the next 6 months to calm frayed nerves and encourage genuine reconciliation.
I see a great commitment in members of PDP. Many of us will never go to another party. We are in this party. Part of the work we need to do from now on, not from next year, now on, is to build unity among ourselves, to get other people, even from other parties, who admire us and we don't know it, to come to our party. Our party is a party of joiners.
It is crucial to emphasize the importance of unity, inclusivity, and strategic planning. This speech aims to inspire party members to come together, set aside differences, and work towards a common goal of strengthening the PDP in Lagos State.
It's time for a break, but coming up next, federal government begins compensation for coastal highway construction. Details of the story right after this break. Welcome back. Now a quick recap of our top stories. Authorities have apprehended Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known as Mandi, the alleged mastermind behind the deadly attack on passengers aboard the Abuja Kaduna train in March 2022. The arrest was confirmed by the police public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi. Abdullahi is also implicated in the abduction of students from Greenfield University in 2021. During his arrest, law enforcement agents confiscated 48 AK-47 rifles, and efforts are now underway to identify sponsors and suppliers of weapons. We also told you that the organized labor has issued a deadline of May 31st to the federal government to establish a realistic and reasonable new minimum wage for Nigerian workers. President of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC Joe Ajaero and his Trade Union Congress TUC counterpart Festus Osifo said there is inadequacy in the current 30,000 naira minimum wage in light of economic realities such as inflation and rising cost of living. They urged the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to swiftly approve a new living wage of 615,000 naira before the deadline. And in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limas World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And for more stories in the world of business, let's join Okpayemi Owosheni to keep us up to speed. Over to you, Okpayemi.
Thank you, Tamilore. Hello and welcome to Business News. The federal government has begun paying the first set of compensations to property owners whose buildings are being demolished for the construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, flagged off the process in Lagos, where checks were presented to some of the affected persons. This next report provides an overview of the recent development and key statements made by Minister of Works, Dave Umahi. Gathered in this hall are mainly property owners whose buildings are on the right-of-way along the Lagos axis of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. They are yet to receive their checks as compensation for the demolition of their property to allow for full construction project to begin.
The notice for demolition in line with the laws of the land was elapsed in 2 days, and I extended it by 7 days. And we promise that as soon as we enumerate, we will start paying. A lot of people doubted that we will not pay. And we say this is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Yes, it's a man that says something and he does it.
The Controller of Works on Lagos State reaffirmed the government's dedication to the Coastal Highway project, adding that the ceremony saw the disbursement of the first batch of compensation payment, totaling 2.75 billion naira.
We're doing the compensation in phases. This is not the first and final. The already minister said that in his earlier speech. So it's a continuous exercise. So if we're not called today, don't be afraid. We're going to call you in the next 2 days. The secretariat is open. We're working 24/7 every day. So this is just the opening one.
The minister further clarified the legal ownership of the coastal area, highlighting the government's commitment to rectifying illegal occupation and providing compensation, even to those residing unlawfully along the coastline.
In some cases, we have followed the gazetted route. In other cases, we have realigned to the coastal line majorly. And coastal line from the shore 250 meters by the Supreme Court judgment belongs to the federal government. And so we are dealing with these people that is subletted, this shoreline illegally. And I've asked him to bring his documents. And I challenge him and his co-politicians to bring the documents.
Addressing concerns raised by Peter Obi regarding project prioritization, Umahi underscored the government's commitment to completing all inherited projects. He emphasized that the Coastal Highway project does not receive preferential treatment over other ongoing initiatives.
P2B listed as projects that will be given attention, and that's why I say when you darken council, it's because you have no knowledge. Mr. President inherited 2,600 projects, totaling about 14.5 trillion as at that time. And none of the project has stopped. It has never happened in the history of the country where a president comes on board and takes on all the ongoing projects and put them as priority one.
With continued government support and stakeholder collaboration, the Coastal Highway project is poised to enhance connectivity, facilitate economic growth, and improve livelihoods along Nigeria's coastline. Okpayemi Owosheni, TV360 News, Lagos. We'll go on a short break and be back with stock market reports. Welcome back. Nigeria's stock market moved higher on Thursday by 0.55%, with the market capitalization at 55.86 trillion naira. Well, that was because investors bought shares of Presco and Flour Mills, amongst others. The market breadth also ended on a positive note as 29 stocks advanced and 14 stocks declined in the process. Presco led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 229 naira 90 kobo per share, followed closely by Flour Mills Nigeria, which closed at 33 naira 55 25 kobo per share. Now, at the end of Thursday's trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 665 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 8,466 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 5 billion naira. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Tuesday, April 30th, the market was closed on Wednesday because of the Workers' Day celebration here in Nigeria. Today's data shows 20% improvement in volume, 63% improvement in turnover, and 10% decline in deals. Or let's take a switch to our select global stock to see how they are also doing today. Well, as you can see from the screen behind me, it's a similar case for our global equities, as the UK FTSE and US Dow Jones maintained a northward movement and ended with the bulls, with the UK FTSE at 0.63% and US Dow Jones at 0.35%. Well, reverse is the case, however, for Japan's Nikkei, as it maintained the southward movement and ended with the bears at 0.099%. Let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. The US dollar traded at 1,330 naira 21 kobo on the official market and traded at 1,380 naira on the black market. The Great British Pound traded at 1,667 naira 01 kobo on the official market and traded at 1,750 naira on the black market, where euros traded at 1,425 naira 71 kobo on the official market and traded at 1,500 naira on the black market. Well, that's it on both business and stock market report. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okoyemi, for that update. Now, on the global scene, less than 2 weeks after record-breaking rains that experts connected to climate change, heavy rains returned to the United Arab Emirates on Thursday, closing schools and many offices. According to reports, lightning storms with high winds swept across the oil-rich monarchy overnight, with more than 50 millimeters of rain falling before 8 a.m. in some areas. Flooding was seen in some parts of financial hubs of Dubai and the city's airport, one of the world's busiest international airports, leading to 13 flights being cancelled and 5 being diverted. Now, state-owned Dubai-based Emirates and sister airline Fly Dubai both warned passengers of delays as schools switched to remote learning and public sector offices closed. And up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Popular bartender Pascal Okechukwu, popularly known as Cubana Chief Priest, has urged Nigerians to ensure they steer clear of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Posting on Instagram on Thursday, the nightlife king said Nigerians won't like the kind of stress EFCC puts suspects through during trial. This is coming after reports emerged that he had agreed to an out-of-court settlement and that the Federal High Court in Lagos has fixed June 5 for a report of settlement in the case against him. The EFCC had on April 17 arraigned Cubana Chief Priest on 3 counts of spraying and tampering with the Naira notes during a social event at Eko Hotel in Lagos State.
And finally, on sports, Manchester United forward Marcus Rashford says he will resist any attempt by the club to sell him this summer. This comes after claims that United's entire squad is up for sale, except for Kobe Mainoo, Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho. Rashford's potential exit is attractive to the Red Devils, given any cash raised in the safe would count as pure profit due to the forward status as an academic graduate, thereby helping them to deal with the FFP restrictions. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkwoli. See you again next time.